Or is it?
Oh dear. But this coming year, Dawn has had these past years with everyone around her, influencing her so much from, evil Willow and Soli Spike.
To Clem. Can we get like a little applause for that guy, Clem? Come on. That guy's adorable. Good job. Awesome.
He's really great. More scenes with Clem. But this is what I was saying about the whole life thing. Characters need to progress. And, if we were all pigeonholed in the same thing, it wouldn't be fun. So whether that's ass-kicking or heels, it'll just be a character development heels. And
pumps.
Or pumps. It'll work too, really. Come on, work with me.
Looks like a pump, feels like a sneaker.
We didn't give him his medication today. We're so sorry. Damn. So that's a Joss question, I guess. Will I do stuff?
It's pretty much covered. No, obviously.
And to you.
To me, what Dawn was going through is very real, but then people were like, well, she has been complaining for an entire season. And, I think she'll move from whining to moping. And I think we'll begin to see some of the sulking that she hasn't really had a chance to do. I will tell you this. Next season,
no more kill Dawn emails, because those were not fun.
Dawn will get to, grow up like everybody does on the show, and she's at a particularly delicate place, because right now she's the age Buffy was when the show started. So we'll be able to explore a lot more issues in her life and see a lot more colors from her, and including black. Yes, I promised. And we'll get into her life somewhat more as well, because the first episode will begin with the grand reopening of the Sunnydale High School. So we will come full circle.
And aren't I Screech, and I'm working with Mr. Belding?
You know it.
Awesome.
No matter what we write for him, Screech. It's weird.
Or AC Slater, whichever one you want to do. I'll be there for you.
Amber Benson, we haven't really talked about her yet. Couldn't she have just been wounded?
Well, she was, just mortally.
Yeah.
Oh, we wounded her. We did it. She was wounded in the spine. No, she's dead.
Yeah.
It's sad, I hope. Because if people were laughing, we failed big time. But that's obviously been quite a controversial issue, but it was so hard for us, not just because we love that relationship, because we love working with Amber and have for many years, but she knew for a long while what was coming. It was still really hard on everybody to do it. But I think that probably proves that we were right.
And also, in that, and my wife and I watched that, and it was really amazing for us, because I've been watching it for 6 years now, and I get blown away each year. But when she got shot, and Willow got sprayed, and Amber said, "There's something on your shirt," no joke, bro. We were bawling, and not only were you bawling because that person just died, but just the way that it was dealt with was so, oh, you have something on your shirt, and then just Allie did a fantastic job in that scene, and yes, you can applaud. But with the amazing acting in that scene, and just with how it was orchestrated with the writing, blew me away, and I've been doing this thing for a while, and I'm behind the scenes, so that was fantastic, so good job.
One of the things, that we had known about this, again, like the Tony thing for, the whole season, and one of the things that it was nice to say, again, this world becoming more literal. When Buffy killed Angel, it was all mystical, and you could buy it back, and it was with a sword and a kiss and a thing. And, and they were fighting a bigger-than-life, well, he was a bigger-than-life villain, but everything was sort of grand and romantic. Our villains this year were such shemps. And the fact that he used a gun was something that we had talked about from the very beginning as part of this literalism that kind of sucks the life out of the metaphor and is so hard on our growing people. And in fact, in the 4th episode, Buffy has the line, guns, these are never useful. And she says it again in episode 15, and we put that in deliberately because we knew we were going to shoot Tara, not just kill her, but shoot her, because we wanted it to be the most mundane and appalling thing that we could think of and not in any way relate to the grand mysticism and intense metaphor of the show. And to make a statement about guns that I think, is always good to be able to make.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why people have responded so intensely, in addition to the fact that they love seeing, a realistic portrayal of gay characters was that it was so shocking. But both with the death of Buffy's mother and this, I think both times you didn't pull any punches, and the intention was, the emotional reality of the show is what we strive for every week. It is a fantasy world that we create and that Joss imagined, but when it comes to things like death of human beings and loved ones and love itself and all the things that we try to say stuff about, it gets very real, and it wouldn't have meant as much if it were some strange fantasy thing, or if she'd been decapitated by a demon or something.
Or if it was somebody that we'd seen for 3 episodes, if it wasn't somebody we loved as much.
This was so real and so painful. I know for me personally, not only as Dawn, but for myself, because I loved Amber, and we all just.
She's not really
Still do.
dead.
I'm so confused. It's the blonde highlights in my hair. But it's just, the thing is.
James is very offended by that.
Think how dumb he is. Wow. It's highlights. James in trouble.
It's natural. What? You look like in sync tonight. Do you like that? I will not bleach my hair in the off season.
I just think going to the whole, I was thinking about the Dawn and development thing. Amber's, Tara's death was just so monumental for each of our characters. For Alyson, of course, it was the big turn of the season, and the saving the world and the whole thing. I think it was just something as painful as it was. It really had to happen because it kind of made us all look at ourselves and as our characters, and kind of, even though you guys are all adults and everything, we all had to grow up and all had to deal with it, and it almost made us more together but separate because of our whole spins, and it was just one of the most touching and painful moments. It was amazing.
That blood was so hard to get on my shirt. I can't even tell you. Ray can tell you. We had to, first of all, there was only 2 shirts. So, trying to get the blood to splatter in a way, and then it kept hitting my face, and then, they'd have to go wash the shirt. Poor wardrobe ladies, they were just gonna
We went through it
die.
about 16 times. We did it with straws, and we spit on, and we threw it, and then we'd be like, okay, Allie, now cry.
And the shirt is soaking wet, pretty much, because we didn't have time to dry it, and it was a nightmare. So I'm so glad that moment came, because at the point that the blood actually hit, and it was just, I didn't even know if I had done anything, because it was just like, was that blood good? Okay, good. Let's move on. I mean, it was just.
So those were real tears.
Well, that was a cut.
But,
That look of shock was actually, are we done yet?
yeah. It's
14
we've got no
takes.
more takes, please. It was awful, but great moment.
She was very shaken up, too, by the whole.
Giving you the behind the scenes. That's right. It was a nightmare. Right, Ray?
It was a tough one that day, I remember, but you really pulled it off. And I remember in the color timing of this episode, when the scene played and the way it was cut, like Nick says and all, I had to cry too. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
But Ray digs himself a lot shaving.
And I
so
never
it
cry.
kind of goes back into his personal life.
Ray,
What are some of the special challenges that you face with Buffy? I mean, because it has this really unique look. I mean, you're flipping around, you pretty much know when you've landed on Buffy. I mean,
Well, I think just getting it done in 12 hours a day, because
Yeah.
this guy Gareth Davies, who used to be around, he has these.
We got rid of him, didn't
He has
we?
these implements of destruction on his wall from the medieval period.